What is the most important issue which we had said? Unemployment 25%, price rise 22%, family income 6%. When the question was asked, should India go for a uniform civil code? Yes was 69%, no was 19%. Should India appoint judges? Should judges appoint judges? The whole collegium debate. Yes said 38%. Executive should appoint 19%. Both executives and judges should appoint 31%. So opinion divided on that. Should hijab be banned in educational institutions? Yes 57%, no 26%. Muslim men indulging in love jihad? Yes 53%, no 33%. When you taken together, particularly these large numbers for should India go for a uniform civil code, how love jihad is perceived, you get a sense that the BJP is some of the issues, seemingly polarizing issues, Rahul, that they are raising, are getting a lot of traction out there. So it's not just Mr. Modi's popularity or the governance issues on COVID, but it's also those emotive issues that seem to be rousing up the base of the party. So it's the BJP at the moment is like, is playing politics 360.
No, but
they're leaving no space for the opposition.
Yashwant Deshmukh, that the BJP's narrative on issues like love jihad, on issues like uniform civil code has now seeped deep into Indian society, where 69% want the uniform civil code, 53% say they are convinced that Muslim men are indeed indulging in love jihad.
There is a deeper sense of polarization among the electorate and the demographics of this country. And if you look into the demographic details of all these questions, you will see very clear-cut deviation among the minorities and the majorities on these issues. There are contrasting opinion on that. However, having said that, Rahul, there is also a sense, which I must point out, that, 26 January 2002 was the first time I carried the MOTN for India Today. So for me also, it's been 20 years. This is marking 20 years. And one big change, which I have been watching in my trend line doing MOTN over these years with India Today, is that definitely in the last 5 years, there seems to be a sort of disconnect between the issues and the anger that those issues generate and aim towards the people in power. So, Rajdeep, you might have a much more historical backdrop on this analysis. Earlier, we used to see that when economic crisis come up, unemployment or the inflation went up, those kind of issues automatically got converted into anger against those in power. Somehow, that has got disconnected. And this is a very amazing insight to see that it is not only at the national level. The Congress spokesperson was correct, because I made that point that the idea of pro-incumbency is gaining also at the state level. When you look into the list of the top chief ministers that MOTN produces, number of people who are satisfied with their chief ministers, even that list gives the similar kind of emotion and sentiment what we are watching at the national level. People are disconnecting their anger with the issues. Somehow now the ratings are more produced, or ratings are more giving an idea of how people perceive the trustworthiness of a leadership. How people see that, okay, I have got this issue, but I see this particular gentleman or that particular party as more capable of finding a solution to that issue.
How do you explain this, Rahul Verma? The fact that unemployment, price rise are such big issues, but politically they don't seem to damage the government.
No, Yashwant is absolutely right. And something which Rajdeep said in his intro, which is, these numbers don't make sense to people who have been looking ordinary politics. Actually, we all have, and perhaps you all have, we have learned or to analyze politics from the 1990s to 2013 period, which was a politics of fragmentation, right? There were lots of parties were ahead with just 1 or 2% votes. Post 2014, we are in a very different world of politics, which is a dominant party system. Ideological median, Rahul, as you pointed out, has moved towards the right. And so now issues are basically becoming disconnected to voting choices and popularity rating choices. So as a voter, I do understand economic concerns and I am going to rate them high, but those are not the primary moving choices which will move my vote. My vote is dependent on something else, perhaps as Yashwant pointed out. This is why we are basically in an era of pro-incumbency. Again, much
But
like
then
the
what could potentially hurt the Modi government? Like if, for example, there is to be an Achilles heel, which creates dissatisfaction and translates that into negative voting behavior from the BJP's perspective, do you see any weakness at all?
Not one single thing, at least in the short run. And if any such Achilles heel has to develop, it will be internal contradictions within the BJP. Much like the Congress demise began because of the internal contradictions within the BJP.
That's an interesting way to put it.